9:30 on the dot. Couldn't have done that better if I tried. What I wanted to come on here and say is, if you are an Upchurch fan, or if you listen to his music, or if you're a true crime kind of aficionado that likes to get in there and see different people's perceptions about the what's the best way to put this without, I'm trying to find the right words. If you want to see the best perception of people's ideas about the current investigation and the information that's coming in, and then some of the ways that social media is being used to influence the information that's being shared, it's almost imperative you go watch Upchurch and what he's doing right now. He is bringing a lot to the information, the funneling of the information, the creativity that I think is part of the forming of the storyline, to then create a storyline, to create a timeline for them to follow and to have landmarks for themselves to check on, to follow. When I see these kids giving all these interviews, number one, I'm like, why are these kids giving these interviews? Parents, where are you? Even if your child is just of age, parents, where are you? Talk to your children. And kids, if you're giving interviews to policemen and investigators, it's highly likely you don't need to go and then talk about it online. You probably need to chill out until the investigation has gone on a little while longer. And anything that you feed needs to be fed to the cops, to the investigators, and not to like everyone. But since we're getting the information, let's all go look at it. Ryan's doing a great job of looking at it, taking it apart, reading body language. He's really, 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 really perceptive with body language and nonverbal communication cues. And pretty much what he's picking up is kind of what I'm picking up. And I am a retired parole officer. I did work with convicted felons. I did supervised murders. I have dealt with the worst of the worst. So a lot of this I pick up on as well. I'm not as deep into the story as he is because I've got some health issues and other stuff going on. But I think if you want a discerning eye for this case, go watch Ryan Upchurch. He's doing a great job at taking apart the layers that these kids are stacking. And it's really imperative to note that sometimes when these kids stack these layers and they contradict themselves, we need to be seeing that. We need somebody to be catching that. And I'm sure the investigators are, but it seems like other people are as well. And I actually made a snarky comment on one of his videos. I was like, hush, Ryan, she's trying to get her story straight. Shh. Don't confuse the girl. She's trying to get her story straight. And she really is trying for herself, I believe, to lay down the scene, the setting for the scene and the story, because it seems like then she's layered on every time she's been interviewed. And to me, that says I'm creating a storyline. It doesn't tell me you're telling the truth. It doesn't tell me that you're remembering facts after the fact. It tells me that you're creating a storyline. And whether or not it's true or not, it's in here. She's creating it. Clara, it's very interesting, isn't it? Adventures with Purpose are like they're taking on this case, and they rarely ever look at fresh cases. So they're actually going to look into this case. And the first thing I said when she disappeared was, where's the closest body of water? And are these teens watching these recovery sites on the internet? Are these teens watching what these people do, how they do it, so that they think that they're getting away with something? Because I really do honestly believe, while there may have been a mature hand in this, I believe that this was probably a younger crime. I think whatever has been done was done by a younger person. They may have had an older person feeding them information or guidelines, but I think it was predominantly done by younger people. That's what I'm picking up, the vibe I'm getting from it. And are they just arrogant enough to think that they are getting all this information from the internet? And so they've watched all these different agencies, so they know how to maneuver and manipulate so that they can avoid obstacles, avoid getting caught, and be able to do these things. And because I'm picking up on a very arrogant undertone with these kids. And I think the only place that Ron and I might differ is looking at the boyfriend. And looking at the boyfriend, I see complete beta male. I'm sorry. I don't know him personally. This is not to be mean about him personally. This is just what I'm picking up on. I get complete beta male who does what he's told. And when he's standing next to the girls, you can tell. And when he's standing next to the one girl, it's eyes down, look at the ground, don't poke the bear, listen to what when she's speaking, he's listening, he's composting, he's intently listening. And you can see almost the stress on his face when they transfer to him and ask a question, because he's like, and he doesn't want to make eye contact. He's trying really hard not to make eye contact. But when he does make eye contact, he's shifting to the sides. Now, this is important for investigators because when you shift to one side, it means I'm recalling a memory. When you shift to the other side, it means I am creating a storyline and I'm creating a false memory. So it's very important for the interviews to occur. It just, sometimes when they get out on social media, people, it's like, oh, I don't know if this is going to help or hurt the investigation. I hope it helps it. But yes, he's very submissive. I think he's very much do what you're told. And Ryan's picking up on, like, why would he, if he did all this, drive the next morning to the girlfriend's parents and help her do these things? Well, I supervise murders. Most people that have the ability to harm somebody also have the ability to jump right in there and plan the support group, make the cobbler for the support group, create the telephone tree, for emergencies for the support group. They jump right in and they put themselves right in as a fixer in the problem they created, the issue that they created. So him wanting to, go and meet the parents, to me, does not prove anything other than he's still potentially playing that role of good boyfriend, because even if the girlfriend was right there beside him, no boyfriend wants to go spend time with his girlfriend's parents. None. Especially at that age. So for him to jump, snippy, snappy, either he did that all the time when she was there as well, and he was just trained that way, because most boys don't want to do that. Or to me, it's a scream of, I'm going to do everything right because I know people are watching me right now. But I think Ryan looks at him as like, put him off to the side and doesn't think he's done anything. I don't know if he physically has done anything. Like, this is just all my vibe on the thing, But to me, he looks shifty. He looks like he knows something that he's not telling. A lot of times when other people are talking, you can see the stress and tautness in his face, and it's like he's holding something back. Then he's very careful. He knows he has it, and he has to hold it back. Because I see the tense stress and a kind of a fight of wheels on his face when other people are being interviewed, and he's standing there listening to him. And his face just makes me feel like he is so uncomfortable and so battling something internal. It bothers me. Now, all of this is just, I'm a retired parole officer. I'm a retired counselor. I worked with teens that had addictions and were in state custody due to violence and addiction. And I've supervised adult offenders as well of all levels. But this is just what I'm picking up on. This is my opinion about things. The one girl that claims to be the friend with the long hair probably is a friendship there, probably is an acquaintance friendship there, that they know each other, spend time together. But it doesn't seem like the things that she's stating are tremendously important or something that even just a passerby would probably not know if they were in the same age group in a small town. Then there is the one girl that was like, and the boys were trying to get me to take as many bong rips as possible. And my boyfriend was not there. That was very forceful. I'm sorry. You can't make a decision when there's not a boy standing beside you. So that says we've got some decision-making skills, and she's willing to announce those to the world. And we also have codependency issues. Do you know what those often lead to? Aggressive outbursts. Red flag. But there's something about that young lady that terrifies me. There's something about what she is just so callously throwing out there. Some very horrible details of what these kids are up to unsupervised in the woods. And she just flippantly throws them out there like it's something she does every week. Which she may be. Most teens, though, have enough brains to make it sound as if they're not doing this every week. It's like she doesn't care. And it's like she doesn't have anyone at home that would care either. It's like she just has no one to answer. She just throws it out there. She has a very hard edge, a very callous edge. It freaks me out. Like, I see a lot of red flags in this behavior. And I'm not going to go too far in depth, but I will say there's a lot of emotional incongruency. There's stuff that she says that you should absolutely be solemn and somber after, and she laughs. And it's a very fresh case. This young lady is still, we're hoping we can, if something has happened that somebody's just abducted her, we can find her. We can bring her home. And she laughs during talking about horrible things that she picked up on that happened at the party. Hello? That that shows something. That shows me that you're not emotionally mature. You find humor in other people's pain, and paired with some of the other behaviors, it's kind of made me go, oh, I don't think you're a very nice person. And for me to look at these younger kids, it's almost like I see them trying to emulate a mafia style population, to where when cousin Vinny has a problem with it, we do something. It's just like, children, be children for 5 minutes. Annette, I haven't seen you forever. Oh, it's so nice to see your name pop up on my screen. So glad to see you. But if you haven't watched anyone else talk about this case, go watch Ron. He's doing really good work. He's very perceptive. I am amazed at some of the stuff he picks up on, and the way that he can communicate it and verbalize it so easily in a way that you can understand. I've been on late lately. I need to fix that. I've had a weird schedule lately. But go watch Ron's videos. He's doing great. He's picking up on a lot of the same things I am. We've got a lot of the same vibe going on, it seems. And I'm still, I'm not as in depth to the case as some of these other people are. So I'm just kind of laid back here picking and choosing what I'm focused on. But I see some tension within this young group of people that is abnormal for tension in young groups of people like that. Especially if they're getting together to party. There's a lot of animosity and a lot of back history and a lot of stories being told amongst people that spend time together to have fun. So what else is going on? Because there's something else going on. There's something else going on within that group of children, because they're young. Even if they are just over the adult line, they're very young. There's something else going on in that group of children that's making them take on these very adult roles. And either they wanted to because it's something they are wanting to become or wanting to portray, or they want the power, the authority that goes with it, or they've learned, it's a learned behavior, and they're just transferring it into their friend group. Or we've got a really big juvenile and young adult criminal issue in this area that's not being investigated appropriately, because there's something going on in that group of kids that is, even I would say, farther complex than most adults and the groups and the tension and the stress that they have in their squabbles and stories like this. So I just think that there's something, either these kids are so stupid that they think they've got the wool pulled over everybody's eyes for whatever occurred. And so they're just toddler stupid, thinking they've got away with something. If they close their eyes, you can't see me. Or this is not a new thing. This is something that's been worked up to. This is a slow advancement of a big problem that has been lingering for a while, and they've just matured recently to this level of issue. And they're very self-assured at how they took care of whatever occurred. Those are the two things I'm picking up on. Because either they're just blatantly stupid enough to talk about all this crap, which is going to tell on themselves because they've already contradicted themselves several times, or whatever they did, they think they did so well, they don't think they're going to get caught. Gypsy, I think that's kind of where I'm leaning to, because I don't want to believe that these kids think they're that good at something so evil and that they got away with something if something like that did occur. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm trying not to really get attached to these stories, because the true crime community on YouTube sucks. Because all the adults that are in the true crime community seem to do is generate drama or tension or internal issues within the community, and I'm not into that. But this case is fresh. This young lady, if she was just abducted and somebody's got her, we can still find her. We should all be looking for her. Her name needs to be everywhere. But at the same time, you have to be very careful about how you're speaking about the case and the emotions you're listening from other people, because that can generate a whole nother issue online. And grown adults don't even know how to calm themselves down, it seems. Summer's case really just imploded the true crime community. And I understand, but the reason, people say, oh, well, it's a little kid, I got so pulled into it. Yes, you did. But also, it's because people knew that they could financially profit off of the little child because of the emotions they elicit. So they took it to a level it didn't need to go to. And you saw a lot of flaws present in people that were trying to otherwise successfully hide them. It just came out. And so I just kind of backed away from that community. I was like, y'all crazy. Go over here and be sane. So I try not to, have anything really to do with those communities anymore. Now, there are a few good YouTubers in that community, but not most. And no, some are still missing. They keep saying, oh, well, this month is going to be the important date, or this month, but at this point, I think whatever occurred just overwhelmed the resources available and the people that were available to investigate. And I don't think we're ever going to know. And even if we get some kind of resolution, I seriously doubt we get a full resolution. I don't think we ever know the full story of what happened to Summer Wells. I just don't think we will ever know. And that's going to be a hard one too. But it also means that this is going to be a cash cow for a lot of people for a long time. And that's a sad, sad thing, because that's not how this little child should be remembered. That bothers me. But Ryan has done such a great job on these videos and picking up things that I would point out specifically myself. And if I have time and energy over the next few days, because I'm super busy right now, I've got visitors in, I'm cooking, and I've got some stuff for the newspaper I'm trying to do, and I'm just trying to be a terribly busy and positively directed energy person right now. So I've been kind of doing stuff in my community that makes me feel good. So I've just barely like peeked at this case, but Ryan seems to be spot on for me. And I would say go watch his videos, support him, put feedback on his channel. I think sometimes people don't understand. Ryan and I have a lot of tit for tats in the comments a lot of times between my videos and his videos. So I think a lot of people don't understand that we do that a lot. We get kind of snarky sometimes, or and we laugh and sarcastic. And so somebody responded to me on one of his videos, and then they blocked me so I couldn't see what they responded to me. And I was like, why do that? It was, because I was like, I got like 20 seconds in the video. I was like, shush, Ryan, this girl is trying to get her story straight. Don't help her. And I'm sure that he read it the right way, because we tend to interpret each other correctly. But I guess that person did not, because I was like, seriously, this young lady is trying to set the scene for her story. And they blocked me and they replied. So I could see there's a reply, but I don't know what they said. But, a lot of people just don't understand. That's just kind of what we do. So I'd love to pick his brain for a little while on this. I would love to sit down and watch him respond to the video footage and to see if he responds in the same manner that I respond, if he picks up on the same things. I think that this young man is terribly perceptive and has a natural inclination toward psychology, to the way that we non-verbally communicate, the way that people use their bodies to communicate when nobody else is looking, the way that people use their mannerisms to indicate certain things that other people don't always pick up on, and just how your body will tell on you sometimes. And I think he's terribly perceptive, and he needs to be doing something with that skill set, because he's got a huge talent there in how to read people. That's a huge talent. A lot of people don't have that. So I hope he does something to mature that into something else, because he's got a super talent there. I mean, the boy is super talented in everything it seems he does, but that is something that even, I'm way older. And it's something that it takes a while to generate if you don't have a natural capacity for it. And I worked with so many people that had no natural capacity to learn to read people. And it really screwed them up in their line of work, in the line of work we ran. And it really impaired them when it came time to help people. They did not assign the correct homework, I guess you'd say, to their offenders to get the same impact, because they were interpreting the behavior wrong. So they would think that they had somebody that was, staying sober and being responsible, and, because of the, 30 minutes they might see them in the office over 6 weeks. But if you would go and spend 10, 15 minutes every couple of weeks at their home in a different environment, you would catch them off guard, and the body would tell on the story that the brain had concocted or the personality that they brought into the office with them. And so you need to get people on a lot of different footings to see a foundational, a baseline for behavior. I would love to see more videos of these kids just in natural, like if they had a track meet and somebody videoed it, or they, and I need that's on me. I need to go and do my research and see if any of that is out there. But I need a better baseline for these kids. But I'm here to tell you, somebody thinks they're pretty darn smart. They're not. Somebody thinks they're pretty darn accomplished. They're not. Somebody also thinks this was hella fun and hella funny. It's not. And that's kind of what I'm picking up. And I think the cops are probably very interested in every interview that they're giving as well, because of these behaviors that are emotionally opposite. You don't laugh when you should cry. You don't talk about things that should make you cry and then laugh your butt off. You don't have a glint in your eye when you're talking about your missing best friend. And you certainly don't remember to say creme brulee when your friend is missing and you've gone to a massive drug rave woohoo party. Who remembers that the day before they were making creme brulee? And I'm sorry, somebody hand that little girl a torch and see if she strikes it up right. Because you can't make creme brulee right with a broiler. You burn your house down. Somebody give that little girl a torch and see if she can pop that thing right off, or if she has struggles and doesn't know how to strike it. Somebody hand her one. Just do it. Just do it. She should know how to do it. Right? She should know how to do it. No, seriously, like she says, we were cooking at home cooking. Yeah. And it's like, that is, okay. And a lot of times when people, as in right, TMI, a lot of times when people lie, they over detail. Oh, 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 my drain is making a noise. Oh, I'm power washing laundry and I just made my drains mad. That's hilarious. That scared me to death. Oh, it's like the creme brulee. It's like, who would remember to throw that in there if they were really stressed out, having an emotional response to a best friend missing, and in a lot of stress and anxiety and almost paranoia? That scared me to death. Who else would have the wherewithal to say, oh, we were making creme brulee? You'd be like, we were just trying to make something to eat and have fun. And, you wouldn't add those things. So lots of times when people lie, they over detail. They flourish. Sometimes they'll add small things that are normal to a story, but for some reason the creme brulee did not strike me as normal, unless that little girl is like in chef school or aspiring to be a chef, or that is like one of those, where did that come from? How about a ham sandwich? You making a ham sandwich? Okay, it sounds better. So I don't know, that was one of those things that just kind of made me go, what? So that's it. If I were stressed and I was that young, I would not be putting myself out there either. I'd be like, this is new to me. This is scary. I don't want to be associated. I'm going to go over here and mourn respectfully and then go on about my business. So, yeah, that's me too. Well, anyway, I've got to start my dinner. I've got some of it going, but I've got to get the rest of it. I've got it in the oven, but I've got to get the stuff on the stovetop going. So I just want to jump on here because Ryan did such a great job. He has really pulled out a lot of specific things. And he got really irritated on a different separate interview earlier. I didn't get to listen to all of that one, but he got really irritated. But it's because he picked up on a lot of inconsistencies. And if there's one thing I could tell him to help out is put your eyebrows down, gear down, and handle these people on an emotional baseline where you don't show your cards, because you need them to show every one of theirs. And if you're showing your cards, they're going to pull back and it's going to make them rein in. You need to make them as comfortable as possible, lull them in so that they display what you're wanting to see. And if you are reacting, you're either going to get them to react to your reaction, or, they're not going to be focused on the issue. So my washer scared me, but it may be where we had a bunch of rain come through and like another thunderstorm, and we've had a bunch of issues like with like water and rain here. So it may be, that's the first load of laundry I've done since that big rainstorm the other day. So now I'm going to message my husband and go, it's making noises. The sink's making noises. Anybody got a plumb and like oh, where's my lady that does plumbing? I know there's a plumber's wife out there because I helped you with a Christmas gift last year. The gnome. I got a plumber. My washing machine is on power wash, where it does use more water and it does chugga more. Like, it really uses a lot of water and is a really big wash. And it's because my husband works in a metal fabrication plant. I really wash his uniforms. This is the first giant load of clothes I've done since a massive flooding rainstorm, and my pipes are making noise and it's freaking me out. Is something wrong? Plumbers, let me know. And everybody else, go watch Ryan's videos. I was so off the wall. I've got to finish dinner. I'm going crazy. Go watch Ryan's videos. I'll hush. I'll be back to talk about it more when I have more information. Bye, guys.